for the season. And since they're in playoffs and the pressure's on, I feel like A5 are just going to do even better.
I think that's a good point. We caught some of Anonymous 5 at the end of last season, and they had a similar regular season where it wasn't that impressive. People expected better, a higher record. They dropped some games they probably shouldn't have. But they put it together in the playoffs when they needed to. I think we'll see something similar from them, but I think it'll be closer. What did you say, 16?
13.
Oh, the only closer I
get
can
much
get is
closer than
16-14. I've got to take it. I said closer.
Whoa. You got to call OT if you want. I mean,
I'm not calling overtime. That's a little too ambitious.
okay.
But I would love to see it. And here we go. It will be WOOSAH on the counter-terrorist side. A5 on terrace. They've got the bomb staged up in a garage. And look at Sly there throwing out the defensive molly. But they're going to run right over it. And he loses life pretty quickly. Another showdown in the center of the site. And it's McViz combining with Garv to take control. And there was one actually lurking at the forklift, but Holy Man pulled a ninja on him, shot him from behind. So it's just down to Dan and Check. Bomb has been planted at the A site, so already a pretty successful round for Anonymous 5. Getting that plant money, but with 4 alive, likely going to pull this round out. Here comes Check into the site. He's got 13 HP. Iron 1 at the forklift, but gets shot from the side by Brunson. And Anonymous 5 take the first round convincingly.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's good about Cash. You don't have to be too complicated. You know, it was a straight-up A-take. They were spotted in main from our player at Quad. He saw him, threw Molly down. They still ran them over, and it did come down to aim. And that's what we're going to see is, you know, as the rounds as the rounds pass, a lot of these rounds are going to come down to aim duels. And that Glock train can be too hard to stop. If you don't kill that first guy, and then the second guy shows up, you pretty much lost that duel already.
Yeah, too much rate of fire coming at you at one time as we see a full Galil buy going for Anonymous 5 with a bit of utility nades on Brunson, the bomb carrier. And this time playing extremely slow despite the equipment advantage. They haven't even really moved into the second level on either bomb site. Pretty much drawing a line in the sand in the mat with the bomb playing caboose in middle. And I'm guessing they're probably just playing an anti-rush strat right now where they expected WOOSAH to pick a lane and just rush it. And that's really not what WOOSAH is doing. So both these teams playing passively right now, Launders.
Yeah, it's a really easy map to eco people on because there's so many close angles and there are so many angles in general that you really want to go for a pick before you commit to something. I mean, you could have pretty good odds just running into a site, but if there's a player on both sides on one of these walls, these door entrances that you can just stand on both sides very easily, then that could be a lot of trouble for you. So dropping equipment value is one thing, losing a round is just another thing you got to look out for as well.
Yeah, absolutely. As that patience does pay off, Holy Man is able to pick up 2 from the squeaky door, obviously letting his teammates know as they come in to plant the bomb on the A site, leaving Dan and Check alive once again. Dan is in the warehouse, and looks like Check is... He's got head armor to save, so he is going to run away and save it. Dan does not have anything to save, so it's looking like he's just going to try to take some pot shots, get himself an exit kill, but that nade! Whew, narrowly dodges it. Brought down to 31 HP, and Ghost finishing him off. So patient play by Anonymous 5 on the anti-eco to make it 2-0.
Yeah, I think it was maybe expected from WOOSAH that Anonymous 5 weren't going to just run into a site, and that's why they opted to split up in the first place. Now, was Check the only person who spent any money? And it looks like maybe Arcade spent some money too that round. But he was able to hold on to his 5.7, his Karambit Fade, and his armor. So that's a good save, I think. Ultimately, not much they could do when A5 played that round up flawlessly.
Yes, now 5 alive off of that round. They're able to pick up some utility nades, spread the love around. And I'm guessing we'll see much of the same from Anonymous 5 here in this round, where we'll just got to play it slow, look for some opening kills, as actually this time we see WOOSAH is going to stack the squeaky door, and the Deagle rings true for H1 onto Holy Man. But they're not going to press the issue and try to go for the gun, because they're suspecting that there's another player there, as Sly is just going to take a peek to make sure it's safe. He got the frag. He really wants this gun, though. And it's looking like he is going to get it, because you see on the radar there is no terrorist even close to this area. As they do even it up, taking mid-control, but H1 with that one deeg onto McViz in middle, as Garv picks up one as well. As here we go over to the B-bomb site, where the terrorists have taken full control off of that frag, and it's down to H-Win with that crazy D he's been dealing out. He's got 2 kills so far on the round. And Sly, who did pick up that Galil, but he took a little bit too much time in doing so.
Yeah, he's got a great flank position, but he opted to not go through mid. And what that would have told me is if the bomb didn't get planted, he might try to walk in and might have been guaranteed a kill in the sense that someone is not watching for someone to rotate through terrorist spawn and instead rotate through mid, and that might give him the advantage to take someone out. But after the bomb was planted, he decided he's got a Galil. That's worth saving, and he's in a good position to get an exit. Ooh.
Switched away just in time, and Garv, Johnny on the spot, was ready for that. So Anonymous 5, perfect start to this game, but we'll have to see how things shake out here in the first gun round.
Yeah, this is going to be huge for WOOSAH. They want to win this. I'd say the map is pretty even, but you never want to lose 4 in a row. Going right back on a save can be the worst feeling, and also be just totally bad for your economy. Now, RK and Czech don't have head armor. That's not going to be the biggest problem unless Holy Man kills them both. But in any case, they've got enough equipment value here to make this round work.
And the ops do come out on both sides in the gun round. Brunson, who we have seen be quite nasty with that AWP in his hand, is actually moving over to the A garage area. It's definitely looking like Anonymous 5 is favoring an A push, but really not being too aggressive right now as they've got 2 staged up outside the squeaky hallway with the bomb kind of in between the garage and the squeaky hallway. And it seems like they're a team that likes to play patiently to hope for those opening easy frags to give themselves easy entry into a site.
Brunson smoking fork. Oh, they're just going to crush these guys in sight. No one's going to be able to stand a quad.
Yeah, the Molly came out to push him away from quad. They've smoked off the site, and that nade lands right on top of Sly, and he gets dropped. But he was able to take out Garv as Holy Man gets the headshot on the RK through the smoke at Forklift. Great position for him. And now
you couldn't see him, could he? It was just a pre-fire, I think.
I'm not sure because we could see him from spec, but I don't know if he can actually see him that well in the smoke.
Okay, all right.
As Dan picks up the nice op shot on the Holy Man, exposing himself a bit too much to Toxic, but Czech and Dan are basically in exit kill mode as Anonymous 5 is going to pick up another round as Czech, he gets Ghost. Dropping a few guns, they bring it to a 2-on-2. It really does matter, especially if you're losing the round. You want to get any kind of consolation prize you can.
Yeah. Now, lucky for them, they were able to hold on to the op. That A-take was super fierce. They didn't actually have Brunson peek the site at all before they executed. They had the smokes coming out from out in T-spawn. They had Brunson throw a forklift smoke. They swarmed the site, and with that clutch nade from Brunson, I think that really made a big difference because they smoked themselves out and to delay the counter smokes that were happening from the terrorists, and that was working out well until Garv decided to jump through it. And even though Garv got his trade, Brunson threw that nade to trade kill. So that was a really, really important one.
Yeah, it's a big time frag. You want to play the numbers, and the nade, it's something that you don't bank on getting a kill with it, but when you do, it's just kind of money in the bank. As you actually see a little bit of a boost from WOOSAH here at the center of A site, and again Anonymous 5 playing extremely patiently. One thing we haven't seen from them yet, which I'd kind of like to see, is an attempt at mid control, perhaps off of the back of a boost. And as soon as I say that, it looks like they might actually be going for that. Let's take a look at Holy Man. He's a bomb carrier. Yeah, he's actually boosting with the bomb. He's got a molly in hand. It looks like he's going to throw it at big box in mid, which is exactly where H-Win is at. So this could be maybe a set execute.
He's probably not going to want to stand up there with a bomb, though.
Yeah, it's not advised for sure. There comes the molly. Here comes the flash. And it will be an attempt at mid control for the terrorists. Well, maybe not. They're actually just going to drop a wall of smoke and get into the vents, so it's going to be a B site play. As RK picks up one with the CZ, can't get a second.
And H-Win's waiting for Holy Man here at mid. Oh, and gets him down with the bomb.
Oh, that's a huge play by H-Win. He picks up the AK off of that frag, and the bomb is down, so he'll call for support from Sly.
And the time is running out. They just have to stay alive. They win the round.
Brunson gets the kill, and H-Win wisely hiding behind quad. They can't find him, and there's the win by WOOSAH just by playing the clock. Very nicely done by H-Win. We missed that frag in mid, but he did lurk. I think it was on top of It was near the boost spot.
So Holy Man got on boost. They heard him. They saw him throw the molly over, and then H-Win stood at the corner of smoke when they smoked left and right mid, and he just waited because he knew he was there, even though he had no vision on him whatsoever, until Holy Man peeked. And for some reason, Holy Man had the bomb. Now I don't think the bomb was meant to go over boost, even if their strat was to send one person over boost. I think that was the issue because he was staying in there when all his teammates were in the B site already, and because he was out there with the bomb, he was the only kill that mattered. Ultimately, they waited long enough that they had to plant, and so that was a fatal error by them.
Yeah, it didn't matter that they had taken the site if the bomb's not with you, you know. He's stuck in middle, and he gets fragged immediately by a patient H-Win, and it's like Anonymous 5 is just going to rush right over that molly. Over the top is McViz. He gets one, but traded out by H-Win, who is still alive with that AK he picked up from the previous round win. But Anonymous 5 has control of the site, and there's a headshot onto Quad, dropping Garv. So it's kind of a chess match here as the bomb is trying to get planted. Holy Man will get it down. So now it's a 3-man retake versus 3 defenders. Holy Man playing right on the bomb site with his Galil. Spots one over at the forklift and sees check and drops it with a headshot. Very nicely done and swaps out for the AK. H-Win knows one is in the A garage and gets dropped by Brunson, so it's all up to Dan, who just has the AWP. And he is in no position to go for the retake here. Just going to look for an exit kill. No! He had a chance at one, but Ghost with the AK headshot. Anonymous 5 does not allow WOOSAH to string 2 rounds together.
Yeah, that was a really, really good A-take. They're getting a little bit lucky with their entries coming in just before they're traded out, and so we had McVizzle jump over the sight boxes and get his trade right before I think RK was able to spot him and take him out, and that's what's really making the difference in the sight. And when it came down to that 3v3 retake, that's when the aim battles are so important because everyone knows where everyone is. You know one's going to be quad, you know one's going to be sight, you know one's going to be main, but you still have to kill them. And because they weren't able to win that first trade and make it a 2v3, they weren't able to move in, and that's when the round was lost.
Yeah, very nice hold by Anonymous 5 once they actually got control of the site and got the bomb planted. So this time they're going back to what we saw them do in the first gun round, where essentially Holy Man plays over at the squeaky door. We saw him actually get 2 frags from this position in that round, which easily gave them control of the A side as the bomb wrapped from mid up Speedway into A. Looks like he's going to try to go for that as well this round. You got to think that it shouldn't work again. WOOSAH should be expecting this, Launders.
I think they might be. Now, they have played heavy here for that reason, but Anonymous 5 don't like to turn around. I think if they're committing to a site, they will go through with it.
And of course, the fact that WOOSAH is on the save, surely in Anonymous 5's mind now as they hear those pistols, as Ghost gets 2 nice entry kills, headshots on the Sly and H-Win. Gar picking up 1, it's just a massacre. Check the last man standing, he's in main. Does significant damage to one player, but he's brought down to 15 HP with the bomb planted, and he's not going to last too long. It should be a clean sweep for Anonymous 5 in this round on the save.
Yeah, not much you can do here. Yeah, so Anonymous 5 starting to run away with it, and they're really just imposing their will on places. Now, this is a round where the stack slightly flavored the A site. They ended up getting a pick or 2. It still didn't work out because the rifle and the aim from Anonymous 5 were all there and on point. Now, they've got to come up with a way to win a rifle round, but they're on another save here. So this is looking like a really, really bad half so far.
Yeah, a double save for WOOSAH, already down 6-1. Unless something colossally bad happens for Anonymous 5, it'll likely be 7-1. And this is one of those maps where it's generally considered a little even, you know? Ooh, counter boost.
Pretty.
Let's see where they go with this.
Oh, no luck.
And it looks like Ghost comes out on top of that engagement along with McViz, as Brunson picks up 1 with his op as well. So it's already brought down to H-Win and Sly, but H-Win's got himself an AK. Let's see where he is with that. Savvy play by Anonymous 5 to rotate back over to the B side, which is completely vacant right now. And the 2 remaining WOOSAH players are really in no position to contest this plant. Again, forced into basically exit kill positions, and that's hoping for the best.
Yeah, since Anonymous 5 are able to win rounds by taking the site that they choose, regardless of what's actually in the site, they give themselves the option to pull off these rotates okay, after 7 rounds or 6 rounds of winning, that they can be confident in because they know that WOOSAH are not going to be stacking the other site because they're so used to Anonymous 5 just taking the site that they want to. And so that's why we had players from WOOSAH walk over to A, and that's why we had Anonymous 5 pull that rotate at the perfect time. This game is totally in their control right now, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. I don't know, but we got another buy round up for WOOSAH. It's another opportunity. At the end of the day, all you have to do is defend. If we can see defenders at A site get 2 picks instead of just one, it might be a completely different round. But
Yeah, there's a lot of onus on WOOSAH for this round. You see them invest after 2 saves, and they're going big because they're picking up the AWP on Dan, although he's pretty flush with cash at over 3K. But the problem is, if they lose this, they'll likely be on a save again. So, well, actually, they might be within the losing bonus. I can't remember when their last round win was. But unfortunately, the economic situation is not looking very good for WOOSAH. They need to start stringing some rounds together. You know, the best they can hope for right now is an 8-7.5, but that seems pretty far-fetched at this point.
yeah, just by you know how much control Anonymous 5 have over the game, the only round that they lost was when they made a mistake themselves. You know, they beat themselves that round. Even if Holy Man had died in middle without the bomb, it wouldn't have mattered. So far we haven't seen WOOSAH take control of a round and win it on their own volition.
Yeah, that's a good point. Is it looks like another set move where they smoke off mid, move through vents into checkered as a quick rotate from WOOSAH is going to allow them to hold off this execute into the site, but Brunson's op rings true on the check as he picks up a second, can't get a third. That's RK, who finally gets the trade out after Brunson gets 2, and Ghost drops him with the piercing headshot. He's carrying the bomb, so he will get it planted onto B is Sly, the remaining counter-terrorist up against 3 CTs.
Everything's just going their way.
It really just seems like all of these quick engagements go the way of Anonymous 5. They get, you know, ultimately the first frag, and even if WOOSAH is able to get the trade out, Anonymous 5 trades out again to them to maintain their numbers advantage. So now it looks like Slide's just going to pick up that op, run away. He doesn't have a kit. This is a smart play, but unfortunately, WOOSAH, they really don't need to be saving. They need to be winning rounds right now.
Yeah, I mean, if he wasn't absolutely pressed for time, you might have seen him go for it. But an op is a decent pickup. It can really change the pace of a round if you get a couple picks with pistols. But man, when they got into B and WOOSAH made the perfect rotate, they had 3 players over at the site. They read that perfectly like a book. They knew that Anonymous 5 weren't going to fake it, and then Brunson just comes out and gets 2 kills, like with smokes and flashes going out all over the place. It was pretty crazy. You know, that's exactly the kind of player they need as an opper to make those picks happen, and he came through. So just another solid round from Anonymous 5.
Another solid round, and unfortunately another save for WOOSAH. They do have that op on H-Win, who is playing over at the B site. But unfortunately for him, Anonymous 5 is deciding to go to A, but WOOSAH did stack 3 over there, so they're basically conceding mid-control, and this could pay off for them if Anonymous 5 does come rushing out of A main. If they can land their shots with these luxury pistols from this range, they can make something happen.
Yeah, and H-Win's got the memo. He's going to rotate, but
trying to flash for himself. Besides, he drops the bomb with that pistol shot, but gets traded out. McViz trying to go over the top again, but H-Win, Johnny on the spot, drops McViz in the process as Check. Again, the last man standing, stuck in A main as the bomb is planted with Brunson and Garv still alive. Brunson has the op. Garv with the AK. Brunson, he's on site. Let's see what Check can do as he's picked up the AK, and I think, oh, he goes for it, comes to the smoke, and Brunson immediately eliminates him from the field of play with that op. 9-5 in favor of Anonymous 5, excuse me.
yeah, they really brought it close that round. The stack was almost good enough, and the op rotated just early enough to get his pick, but ultimately it was pistols versus guns. Around that, Anonymous 5 shouldn't have lost and didn't. But here we are on a rifle, and if we don't see results close to that, then you might think that there is an issue with the way that they're playing out rifle rounds. As I think the only round that they have won was another pistol.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. I mean, it could be several things. It could be a combination of several things, but it seems like Anonymous 5 both understands WOOSAH, but is also... Oof. Wow! The touchdown nade over the top for RK.
So what I think is that in situations like this where we always see teams, teams that are winning only on ecos or coming close on ecos and just doing even worse on rifles. It's like generally because they're playing too passive, or that's what we feel like. And I think that is the problem because Anonymous 5 are doing a lot of full executes, and WOOSAH are not getting those early picks like Czech just did. And if you can whittle down the numbers before they actually take a site, you have a much better chance to win the round. And also, they almost won that last round because they were playing up close spots in A, and we see them playing those spots right now, which is great because on the rounds that they lost, they were playing in the site, behind the site, at truck, and way too far back, I feel like.
And I feel we've seen this play from Anonymous 5, I think, at least 3 times thus far this game. This mid to Vince to B play. As they actually do pick up one frag in mid. As H1 tries to get one, he does. He drops the bomb right in front of the smoke. But able to collect it is Anonymous 5. They will get the bomb planted. It will be McViz up against 2. This is a hugely winnable round for WOOSAH, and they do pick it up as Dan hits that op shot onto McViz. They'll get the defuse. And we'll see WOOSAH finally get back on the board, but only 2 rounds thus far. They really have a lot of ground to make up.
Yeah, I'm not going to be too quick to say the game is out of reach at this point. I think you win a round when it's at 9. When you win a round when it's at 10, you feel like, okay, we definitely need a round. It still feels like crap, but even if it's 2-9, you get another opportunity to win another round. You can slowly start to see a better pattern, but the issue is that you need to win rounds decisively with more men remaining to keep that economy high so that you aren't going back on a save as soon as you lose again.
Yeah, and that was kind of one of the biggest issues for WOOSAH starting out, is that particularly on that first gun round, they invested so much that they immediately had to save afterwards. They did the same thing after getting enough money off of a double save, to where they invested all of their money, lost the round, and saved again afterwards. So yeah. Momentum is a huge thing in this game, particularly on the economic side of things. But we've seen crazier matches where a half seems so one-sided that there's no way the team can come back. But even at the highest level, it is possible. So who's to say that maybe WOOSAH is a T-sided team? We'll have to see. But they certainly want to get more than 2 rounds on this half. That's for sure.
I think these are better spots. I mean, it's still going to be up to them to trade. Oh, he's getting spotted. Brunson knows he's up there.
And he connects with the headshot, does McViz. Nice entry kill off of the intel gained from Brunson. And another boost. McViz really he's kind of, I don't know, he's gotten a little bit predictable with that jump on the top of the center red box. And checks through the smoke with a headshot onto Garv at quad. Like you said, Launders, everyone knows where people play on this map. It's kind of the same spots once you get control of the site. So you can just go off of memory to hit those blinding shots, as the retake is pretty successful here for the remaining CTs. But Brunson brings it to a one-on-one with the op. The bomb is ticking. Here comes H-Win. Oh, he connects over the top of the box. Brunson, huge 2-on-1 clutch to make it 10-2 for Anonymous 5. And just when WOOSAH seems so close, stolen by Brunson.
Yeah, they had such good control of the site, even though their hold was pretty much down the drain. As soon as Brunson had the feeling that he was going to be up on the boost and was correct about it. And look, they're buying now because at this point, you do want to win rounds. But man, that came down pretty close. I think they had the suspicion that he was going to be a B main. I think they should have been a little bit more confident about it. And if they were, they could have communicated to have just a double peek on him to make sure that they traded. But ultimately, that was Brunson's round to lose. It was planted for him. And
we've seen Brunson make some magic with that AWP before, and that's kind of a backbreaker if you're WOOSAH, because you've been on the cusp, you've been on the verge of winning rounds so many times in this game. It should be a lot closer than the 10-2 if you're WOOSAH. You're saying that to yourself, and then you get a winnable round like that, and Brunson just comes out with a clutch. As now it is another 2-on-2 with the bomb planted at the B site. H-Win with just a deagle, but Sly with the FAMAS, but dropped immediately. And Ghost and Garv combined for kills to close that round out, and Anonymous 5 just is relentless against WOOSAH. That's the only thing you can say.
Yeah, I'm curious if we're going to see another disabye every round, or what. I mean, maybe a FAMAS round from RK, a force buy from Czech, and then armor it up. No, they're going to save for last. So they're definitely still playing to win, and I don't think any score is unsurmountable on this map. I don't care that it's T-side that Anonymous 5 are winning. If they did it to you, you can do it to them. You can feel that same way about a lot of maps, but with a map that I feel is almost as even as this, they probably have a little bit better chance. So I'm glad to see they're not just forcing up, as I feel like it really wouldn't do much work against Anonymous 5, who play pretty carefully.
Yeah, that's a good point. Perhaps playing their opponents, deciding that, look, guys, the odds of a force working here are not that good, so let's save up for a full-on round. Ooh, it's Dan connects with a headshot on the Ghost and drops the bomb. So they've able to put 2 guns on the floor as Sly has found himself an AK. Can't add another to the tally, but a decent save round for WOOSAH going in the final round of the half.
Yeah, I mean, it won't matter. Like, you can drop as many guns as you want. They're going to be able to buy auto snipers for the whole family. So it's going to mean that WOOSAH just have to absolutely win this round, just for the fact that it takes a little bit less stress off the pistol. I know we talk about that every time. It doesn't get any less true, and so if a good hold is going to happen, it's got to happen now. I wouldn't be surprised if Anonymous 5 just tried to go A one more time, as they're just really good at it.
Yeah, they've had much success really at every site, but on the whole, they've favored A, that's for sure. And like you said, Lunders, WOOSAH just wants to end on a good note, and that's a good way to start the round. Very nice peek by RK, hitting the spray down headshot onto Brunson, who has been a playmaker thus far. So getting him off the field early in this round will be a bit of a confidence booster for WOOSAH, as now Anonymous 5 has retreated back into mid. But you take a look, RK not really contesting mid at all anymore. It's now, it looks like Anonymous 5 has keyed into that fact. They're going to rush right into Z, right at RK, who got that opening frag, and holy man, just makes mincemeat of RK with that headshot. It was a buzzsaw coming around the corner, and unfortunately Dan is all on his lonesome, but sees one, drops him with the headshot through the smoke. Guns blazing. They're going to try to isolate him, and holy man is able to get the trade out. He'll get the plant at the back corner of the site. McViz is extremely wounded, and Czech and H-Win are full health, so this is a winnable round. But no, McViz, with that low health, picks off H-Win, but Czech getting the trade out off the comm, so it'll be Holy Man in a one-on-one against Czech for the final round of the half. Pulling out the pistols. A little bit of a fake out. Holy Man kiting the bomb, making Czech come after him. And Czech does not have a kit. He's got to make this happen. Holy Man with the frag. Anonymous 5 closes it out 13-2. Holy Man making it look easy there.
Read him like a book. That was perfect.
I don't know if he realized he didn't have a kit or not, but he kited the bomb perfectly there.
Yeah, that was perfect. Like, moment for moment. Usually by the 3rd or 4th peak, you get to see, someone's shoulder or something and have an idea of where he was. Holy Man was completely out of vision for that entire clutch. That was great.
Yeah, I mean, just really nicely done. Of course, it looks a lot less amazing with us with our X-ray vision, but you guys know. That was nice. Sure. So here we go. Pistol round to start the second half. Like you said, Launders, foregone conclusion, WOOSAH absolutely needs to win this one to get some momentum going. Perhaps they're a T-sided team. They better hope they are, giving the end of that half.
That looked sketch as stars. Well, A5 are... I know there's a lot of accusations for players online, but A5 is a legendary team since 1.6. They're land monsters. And
get proven.
That's why we don't even doubt.
Oh, that headshot from Sly on the Garv. Oh. And there's another kill. Almost close enough for a knife in that position, as WOOSAH just opting for some balls-out aggression. And it is paying dividends, as they've got the bomb planted. They haven't lost a player. They brought it down to just 2 CTs. It's McViz and Brunson. McViz is in heaven. And where is Mr. Brunson? He is at CT spawn coming through the tree area, as McViz and Brunson both combine to get headshots and bring it to a 2-on-3. But Brunson loses his life as RK picks up the final kill. WOOSAH picking up the pistol round when they absolutely had to have it.
Yeah, and you mentioned that, it might be a T-sided team. And, by the way they played that round, just like Anonymous 5 did to them, they pulled it off. They gave them a taste of their own medicine. It wasn't A that Anonymous 5 rushed, but they rushed B in the exact same manner. And they took them down, just getting, closing that gap between your Glocks and the USPs, making sure that you're cutting enough shots that your teammates can be there to trade, and then just putting a lot of pressure on them, getting the bomb down as soon as possible.
And you're seeing WOOSAH going all in. 4 Galils and a scout buy with plenty of utility nades to spare. And on the flip side, Anonymous 5 went with a catwalk, or not a catwalk, excuse me, a squeaky door rush. But we're seeing WOOSAH kind of pull a page out of Anonymous 5 book, from the previous half in the anti-eco, where off of their pistol round win, they played very passively, waiting for the rush, which didn't come. But this time, we see A5 rushing, but unfortunately, WOOSAH is nowhere near close enough to get results from that, as Dan picks up a initial kill with his scout as Slide drops Holy Man with his Galil. So now it's a 5-on-2 scenario, and the patience is paid off for WOOSAH, just waiting for that rush. Not much that Anonymous 5 can do from distance with those pistols.
Ooh,
but
nice
Ghost,
kick.
wow, how does he get 2 there? That's a bit of a mistake by WOOSAH. He almost gets a 3rd, but finally gets burned down by RK. Garb, the last man standing, and he does not last long against Czech. But pretty good eco round for Anonymous 5, dropping 2 guns.
Yeah, it can be a really big issue. You wonder how they got 2. He was standing there, and you have your entry fragger with their gun out, right? And then you have your teammates behind them who have their nades out ready to execute. And so if you kill the entry fragger, then all of a sudden you got a whole bunch of people looking at you with their hands full, and they aren't able to make shots. So that's how he was able to get Brunson as well, who had a molly in his hand, and almost getting a 3rd there with some really, really good shooting.
Yeah, so this time Anonymous 5 will be on the save.
What a stack.
Yeah, this is this mid stack is pretty intriguing.
It was a great way to, because see how Czech boosted up on those mid boxes there? So that's really common for players to just run down the side of this whatever it is and get spotted, get their feet spotted by a player who's trying to hold mid. Now they don't think that anyone's close up mid. They'll probably still check it, but it would be very unlikely for someone to be up here, and so that's why they did that. And then they got 2 up here to possibly win a trade, but
no, they didn't even get 1. Went down with the quickness. As it actually looks like they're going to go with that mid to Vents to B push as the bomb. Oh, they're going to get behind him at Checker, because look at them. They're stacked under Vents. Down goes 1, down goes a 2nd. It doesn't even need to get to the site because the fragging was too much. As WOOSAH gaining a little bit of momentum here, but obviously using the advantage of having more money than Anonymous 5 is. Here comes the gun round. This will be extremely important for WOOSAH to win.
Yeah, I mean, here's the round where we figure out if Anonymous 5 are going to end this shortly, or if WOOSAH are on a slow but possible comeback.
And that's the thing. I mean, anything is possible. But this round will be very telling, so we'll see, as Brunson has an op in his hand. We've seen him be so devastating with that. WOOSAH just trying to gain a little bit of intel. RK over at the B-bomb side. Let's take a look at Dan, who's actually in the boost spot with his op. He's checking big box. Doesn't have any intel yet. Doesn't see anyone. And really, both teams just trying to get a feel for what is going on in this gun round. Where are these guys favoring? What is happening here?
They're really, really worried. They don't want to give it that first pick. Now, Dan's looking for it. And someone's white box. Will he be peeked?
They're going for a similar play that we saw from Anonymous 5, smoking off mid and probably making a play for Vince into B. But you take a look, the number 7 man, he gets dropped. That's Ghost by RK. They do have control of mid, and they will make it into the B site. Oh no, Brunson with the op drops 2.
He gets 3.
A 3rd, that's a 4! We're missing him. Oh my goodness. Where is Brunson? Will he get the ace? There it is! 5K for Brunson, and we missed 4 of them. I do apologize.
Oh my god.
My goodness.
Jeez.
So apparently, Auto Director doesn't like Brunson. And then when I tried to switch to him, it failed miserably.
Yeah.
But huge round by Brunson there to stop any kind of momentum of WOOSAH. And not the fact that you lost the round, but how you lost the round. That's a little debilitating.
I mean, they were about we saw the picks go out early for them, and that was the round that they were supposed to win, and then Brunson just won it by himself.
Yeah. Pulling some magic out of his hat. Brunson just way too freaking good with that AWP. And I'm kind of surprised that they kept running at him as they did. I mean, after 3, it's like, okay, maybe we should go somewhere else. And here comes Czech. Brunson again.
Going for the double
with that
ace
op.
here.
Just so good. If he gets back-to-back aces, I will stop the stream. And there we go. It's down to RK. He does have the bomb in his hand, but he is stranded at quad. And he's in a one-on-one against Garv. This is winnable. He's got plenty of time to go for the plant, but more than likely this is just going to come down to fragging. Went for the fake. Probably could have committed. There's the fake again. What's the cliche, Lunders? What's the phrase?
Third time's a charm?
No, pros don't fake. Actually, fourth time's the charm.
Wow.
Garv, just too patient.
As
soon as he exposes himself, he goes down and he'll get the easy defuse. Very nicely done.
Yeah, he was certain about the right side peek there. Fortunately, it was the wrong read. And yeah, Garv way too patient. And I don't know, man. Like that was a round WOOSAH was supposed to win. Brunson got an ace, and now it's just too late for them to win. I feel like. But were we on the cusp of a comeback? I guess it's just too far fetched to call it.
I think we were hoping.
They definitely had it in them. I think to win those C rounds. They made some plays.
Yeah, just apparently some of the guys on Anonymous 5 made more plays, the bigger plays. As one round away from the win is Anonymous 5, and looking to sew this up as WOOSAH has basically bought everything they can. They've got a couple of scouts, a couple of Galils, and a CZ on check. Not a whole lot in the utility nade department. They got a couple of smokes, but we're seeing Anonymous 5 actually be aggressive here as they can actually afford to do so. And there's the headshot from Ghost onto RK to immediately give them the man advantage. But Dan with the scout, how did he get in that position without them seeing him? Puts a bullet in the back of Holy Man's head, but the trade out from McViz is successful, bringing it to a 4-on-3 in favor of the CTs. And it definitely looks like, oh, they can make a move into the A site now as it's an over-rotate for Anonymous 5, but obviously WOOSAH doesn't have that intel quite yet. H-Win just peeking quietly with that.
Oh, he almost.
And he gets smoked off, and that's unfortunate. They had moved just a little bit quicker. They would have had free entry into the site. But it doesn't matter. They run through this. Oh, the jumping scout headshot onto Brunson. Payback is a mofo. There's your consolation prize. Goodness, it's brought down to Ghost and Garv. But this is doable. They both have kits. And H1, is that another jumping scout shot? I think that was a boost shot at quad.
Yeah, they pulled it out. 3 scout kills that round. I mean, yeah, I mean, if they can win that decisively, right, on T side, I mean, that was on the back of a force, which they weren't able to do on CT. They really have what it takes to win rounds. And actually, Anonymous 5 are on a save now, so, I mean, they're technically back in this. I just say the deficit is so big, and with Anonymous 5 able to win rounds so cleanly, I don't think they'll be able to do it, even, you know, with the fact that they have 8 chances, or maybe that's 4 chances, you know, depending on how many times they have to save. But I don't know. I mean, WOOSAH clearly know how to win a T round on cash.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's just they've given themselves no margin for error at this point. They can't give up a round. You know, they can't have a mistake because then the game's over. I mean, if they had had a bit better performance on CT side in the first half, this might be a ball game. But right now, it's really not a lot of work with for them. But the fact that Anonymous 5 is on the save means it should be a winnable round for them as they've handled their biz so far. They dropped 2, including Brunson, who's just been a man in this game so far, leading the server at 23-2-10.
I like how they molly vents to go out, and then they boost up. They molly vents, and then they boost up, and that's usually the place where someone peeks you from vents late while you're checking other spots, and then you get caught. And they were able to bait someone out of falling out of vents, and then catch them with their B rotators on that rifle. I like that play. It's really, really good. Should be a common thing.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of set nades from both these teams. Actually, look at Sly. He's planning for main.
I think they opened the door on Holy Man and he closed it on them.
Garv gets decapitated by RK as Holy Man is the last man standing. He is in squeaky door. You can hear the bomb. Doesn't really have anything to save, so I imagine he's going to go for some sort of exit kill. Whoa. A little bit of spray and pray from Dan. Come on, Holy Man, show us some magic. He's thinking about it. He really is. Oh, no. Oh, wow, he just strafed at the wrong timing. Loses his face as a result from Slice, so WOOSAH still fighting, still clawing back into this game. And Anonymous 5 looking for the double save, actually. Playing it smart.
They're on another save, and that's kind of their chances down. Now, that's going to be, say they win this round, still 7 rounds in a row that WOOSAH need to win. But if Anonymous 5 pull 1 round out and then lose another, then they're back on a double save, and that's 2 more rounds. That brings it a lot closer than it would appear.
So McViz, he actually goes with the Deagle. The Deagle. Let's see where he's going with this Deagle. He's pushing up main, actually.
So it'd be a legendary. Oh, almost
man. He wants to show it off before he pulls something crazy. Maybe, maybe not. Oh, you tease us, McViz. You tease us. And it looks like a set execute on the middle for the terrorists as we see a couple of nades come out. They smoked off big box. Here comes the grenade from H-Win. They've got one on boost box. Checking all the usual suspect spots. And it looks like H-Win's going to move on top of Hut. They're actually not going vents this time. We haven't seen a lot of just straight mid to A takes. It's mostly been mid to B here on this map as Czech picks up the opening frag on a Brunson with that headshot. And I'm sure they know that now it is a save.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned that mid to A's. I feel like it's a lot more uncomfortable to go mid to A, even though it seems like it's just a map with a middle that's just as far from each side. But once you get all the way up cat, you still have you got to deal with maybe a mid rotator from CT, at truck just waiting for you to cross, and then a forklift guy and then a site guy, and that can be kind of and you can't just smoke off truck with one smoke, right? It's such a wide area. So that can be kind of stressful to do. That's why I feel like a lot of teams don't go mid to A that often, as opposed to just squeaky main executes with like one mid or something like that. Whereas if you go B through vents, that can be super favorable, and you can meet your teammates like right as you're coming out of vents, they're coming in B main. You guys can say hi to each other and take a site within seconds. I think that's why
I think that's a good point. Is the timing is a bit easier on the mid to Bs for sure. And there's also a bit of deception involved, at least in the way we've seen it executed, with where they typically smoke off mid, to where you can't necessarily tell if they actually are going mid to vents.
Right.
You just suspect that that's what they're doing.
You can do it quick.
So a little bit of damage dealt by the CTs to start out this round. Dan and Czech both below 40 HP. Czech's actually at 25. So good initial engagements from Anonymous 5. As we see guns back in their hands, and Brunson does have his trusty op. And let's see where he is at. He's watching from mid, playing basically out in no man's land. And look at this. They're drawing the fake. They're drawing the fake.
Oh, it's working.
It is working so well. They're biting so hard, our Anonymous 5, as it looks like they're going to get entry into the site as Garv is finally calling out, hey guys, it's B. I need some help over here. He drops the bomb with that shot. Gets a second on the RK, but Dan with the trade out on the op. And the smoke will allow them to pick up the bomb and get it planted. But Brunson has already rotated to heaven with that AWP in his hand as Ghost is there as well. It's up to Czech and H-Win to hold this off. If the retake is successful, Anonymous 5 will win the match.
That's it.
And there it is. Frags coming out basically simultaneously. Brunson with the op and Ghost with his trusty M4A1, and Anonymous 5 winning it convincingly. 16-8 over WOOSAH, who only lost one map this entire season until this point.